Okay, welcome to this tutorial, which the aim of is to show you how we can do a part section of a view. If we have a look at the views in front of you, you can see we've got an assembly drawing of the marking gauge, which is a Year 9 drawing. We've got a front view and then a sectional top view, but you'll notice that the sectional top view isn't a full section. Even though I've got this line here, AA, we can see that only part of it's been sectioned. And if we zoom in a little bit, I can basically explain to you the reasons why we've got a part section. If we did section the entire object, we'd have sectioning lines going right out to the end here, and so on. Where really the purpose of any section is to reveal the interior detail or how the parts relate to each other. And that really is only this area here, which shows how the screw screws down and actually locks onto the stem here. Then the relationship between the block and the stem, and also between the block and the screw here. So this drawing lends itself to doing a part section, which focuses on here rather than doing a full section. So what I'm going to show you now is actually how you can change a full section, which you should all know how to do, into this part section. So to do that, I'm first of all going to have to just go back and delete the section, and then I'll show you how to apply it. So if you have a section on a drawing and you wish to get rid of it, we can get rid of it by actually going back to the assembly of this object. So I'm just going to go back to the assembly. Here it is here. And if you've already created a section, you can actually turn those sections on and off by going into the Manage Views icon here. And you can see there's all these tabs. One of the tabs is a section tab. You click on that. And then at the moment, no cross section is applied. If you look at A and double click onto that, you can see then that has been applied. But we want to get rid of that. So you simply just go to the section, right click, and we can delete it. Okay, and close. And if we jump back to the other drawing now, you can see that that section has disappeared. Alright, so first things first, to do a part section, the workflow is you actually do a full section and then you modify that full section into a part section. So I'm going to show you a different way today also to create a full section rather than the traditional method of doing it in the drawing mode. I'm going to use that assembly and actually create a section in the assembly. So I'm going to go back to the assembly, and under the View tab, where we just were before, one of the options here is we can actually apply a section in 3D. So if I click on section, and I'll just go out of that again actually and just show you, if I click on the arrow below section, there's all different types, stupid mouse again, sorry, there's all different types of sections that you can put in. We're just going to do a planar one, and then the red references box is basically saying, alright, well, select a surface that you are then going to make the sectioning plane parallel with. So what I'll do, I'm going to select this surface here, and then we see this red arrow appears. And if I grab that red arrow, I can drag it back into the object, and you can see actually it's sectioning there. Now I happen to know that the thickness of this block is 60 millimeters, which means that the distance back from that face to the middle is a distance of 30. So to set the section plane in the correct position, type in 30 there, hit the enter key, and click OK. Now that's only in 3D and just as a preview, but if I now go over to my drawing, or back to my assembly drawing, if I can get the stupid mouse to work, and then we can actually turn the sectioning plane on. So double click on the view that you wish to section. So I'm going to go to the Layout tab, double click on the view, to open up its properties. Then, like you would normally do, go to the Sections tab, go to 2D cross section, click on the plus symbol, and you can see here that there's already a cross section has been created from that assembly. So you simply select it, click on apply, and then click on close, and you can see that it's sectioned. The only thing we will change is this rather convoluted name here, and also due to the cross-hatching angles, it's made the drawing look sort of skewed. So before we go too much further, what we might do is we'll just edit those cross-hatching lines. So I just deselected the view, hover over them to make them blue, double click on them, and you can see this first set of lines here has become highlighted. I'll leave those as they are, so I'll click on next. This next set of lines are going to change the angle of that hatching, so I click on the angle button and I might change that to 135 that way. Click on, or scroll back up the top again and click on next, and then I might change these ones to 45 degrees. So click on angle again and 45 degrees, and you can see that's a lot neater looking. Click on the done button, which is halfway down, and we can see we've now got a full section. What is missing from the drawing is our line AA, so to do that we click onto the view that we are getting the section from, right click, add arrows, and then select the view we want the actual arrows to go on to. You can see the line there for the section's been placed. To get rid of this long name for the section, we can do that simply by going back to the assembly, go into manage views, and you can see here that the name of the section has this sort of default thing that the computer's assigned to it. If we right click on that, we can rename that. I'm just going to call mine A and enter and close, and then when we go back to the drawing you can see it's now been updated, A and then A there as well, which is a lot neater. Okay, so that's the first part, is an alternative method to putting a section, fill section in. Now we want to convert this full section into just a part section. So to do that, it's really quite simple. We just go back to that view, open the view again, open its properties of that view I should say, go to the sections tab, sorry about that, go back to my drawing, go to the sections tab. Now you can see here that the first section we put in A is successful, and at the moment it's a full section. Click on the little black arrow there beside it, and you can see where it's actually giving us an option here to change it into a half section, and a local, or another name for local is a part section. If I click on local section, and now it's prompted me to select a point in the middle of the area that I wish to section. So I move my cursor over, and you can see that when it picks up a bit of geometry, it goes blue. So I'm going to select the bottom of that screw there and click once, and a black set of crosshairs appears. I'm going to zoom in on that area. At this point I make a decision about what area I wish to actually section. So now I move my cursor outside, and I now start to draw a spline by left clicking a number of times and almost back to the beginning, and center mouse button to connect that spline back together. Nothing seems to have happened until I then hit the apply button, and we can see now that we have a section, part section or local section only around this area here that's actually required. We can click close and zoom in or zoom out, and we can actually see then that we've got our part section. So once again, the part section's quite effective for showing the relationship between the parts. It's focusing our attention on this relationship here and here and here, rather than the whole thing being sectioned. Okay, I hope that's helpful. You also notice that I've put the bomb balloons onto the part section to also help highlight the different parts and what they're called. Okay,